Greetings, loyal members of the Purple Hand Gang. Yes, that was my most super mega titan terrific scream of absolute horror. Want to know why? Well, grab a bag of your favourite yummy gummy fizzballs and I'll tell you. It all started with me, the Lord High Majesty of the Purple Hand Gang and totally cool dictator of the universe, aka Horrid Henry, being up early. Early, I hear you say? Was I feeling ill? Had I lost my mind? Had I been replaced by an evil alien shapeshifter from the planet Stinky Pants pretending to be me? Funnily enough, that's what Mum wanted to know. There I am, sitting near the top of the stairs, minding my own business with my school bag and thinking about what a great day it was going to be, when I hear Mum's alarm go off. Buzz! Buzz! Sounds like a giant mosquito stuck in your ear. Henry, Mum yells, time to get up. I grin. Already up, Mum? The next thing I know, Mum's worried face is peering down at me. Henry, she gasps, are you feeling all right? Fine, thank you, Mum. Just wanted to get into school early. And slinging my bag over my shoulder, I headed down the stairs. Mum's staring at me in amazement. Bye, Mum, I call before I head out of the door. Bet you're still wondering if I'm feeling all right. Well, the answer's yes. Yes, yes, yes. Because today is the last day of term, which means no more school for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's holiday time! My super bestest friend Ralph, that's rude Ralph to you, is waiting for me at the school gates. Sometimes I worry about Ralph. He's always the first one to arrive. Sometimes he's even on time. He'd better not be turning into a toady-toed teacher's pet. There's enough of them in this school as it is. And talking of teachers' pets, my wormy little brother, Perfect Peter, a.k.a. the Worm, no surprise there, is in the playground with the Best Boys Club. Yep, that'll be Tidy Ted, Goody Gordon and Spotless Sam. They're doing their usual mega embarrassing bunny hop high five routine, hopping around like bonkers brains bunnies. If I was a ginormous giant, I'd stamp down hard on them and turn them into a pile of squishy squish goo. Splat! Glad we're not going to have to watch that for a while, I say to Ralph as we hurry past. Ralph grins at me. Yeah, 'cause it's we high five yelling holiday time! Soggy Sid, a.k.a. Mr. Soggington, he of the Slayer Tyrannosaurus Rex at 10 paces sweaty stinky armpit sports teacher type, is waiting at the school doors. Come on, you horrible lot, he growls. Get a move on. Thank you, kind sir, I say, smiling my innocent smile at him. Sid boggles his bug eyes at me. What did you say? I said, thank you, kind sir. I'm thinking that maybe if Sid cleaned all that gooey gunk from out of his ears, he might be able to hear me. Right, that's it, you horrid boy, said Sid, blowing his whistle. Detention. Detention? On today of all days? It's not fair! Lucky for soggy Sid, who's about to get a blast from my gross class zero zapper that I keep hidden in my school bag for desperate emergencies, Miss Oddbod comes bustling down the corridor. Miss Oddbod is head mistress at Ashton Primary School. Her first name's Cynthia, and she has a kitten called Tiddles. I know, Tiddles. That's cute. Not! Now, Mr. Soggington, she says sweetly, let's not get too carried away. It is the last day of term, remember? Sid looks at her. I reckon he's a bit embarrassed. Oh, yes, Miss Oddbod, he mumbled. I was forgetting myself. Miss Oddbod turns to me. You run along, Henry. We'll defer your detention to next term. If anyone remembers it, she says, as we walk quickly down the corridor. I don't know about you, I say to Ralph as we head for class, but I've got the feeling that today's going to be a good day. And you know what? It was. Miss Battleaxe was positively cheerful in lessons. Can you believe she was wearing a party hat and colourful streamers around her neck? And she was skipping backwards and forwards in front of her desk. Oh, and there was a big smiley face drawn on the board behind her. La, 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 no more school, she sang. It was like she was glad to be rid of us. Wonder why. And at lunchtime, when the demon dinner lady slopped the usual stew onto my plate with a measly 3 chips, Greedy Graham's mum appeared suddenly. Oh, I think we can do better than that. And she only ladled a huge dollop of extra chips onto my plate. It is a special day after all, and they won't keep till next term. Thank you, Graham's mum, I said politely. You're welcome, Henry. Going somewhere nice for your holidays? Oh, yeah, well... Oh, I hesitated. Mum hasn't actually booked anything yet, but, that's nice, dear, she said, when she turned round to serve a robocal. I looked down at my enormous pile of chips. Best day ever! Grinning, I headed for the lunch table, where the rest of the Purple Hand Gang were busy scoffing down their own enormous piles of chips. Greedy Graham's mum had been generous today. So, where's everyone off for their holidays? I asked, cramming a handful of chips in my mouth. Beefy Bert shrugged. I dunno. Somewhere with no spiders, squeaked Weepy William weepily. Or any other creepy crawlies, agreed Anxious Andrew, anxiously. Al was heading to sports camp. Where else? And Graham was going on an executive chef course. He held up one of his carrot sticks. 50 winning ways with a carrot, he said, and took a bite. Ralph just wanted to get as far away from school as possible. And me? I was imagining a desert island, a deserted desert island with sun, sea, sand, and the worm buried neck deep on the beach. And no teachers, declared Ralph, which kind of ruined my brilliant daydream because suddenly I saw Miss Battleaxe skipping along the beach, still dressed in her party hat and the streamers. Oh, my daydream went pop. Thanks, Ralph, I muttered darkly. He giggled. Sorry, Henry. Then I grinned. But that's okay. Nothing can spoil today, 'cause the Purple Hand Gang all high-five together. It's holiday time! You know how when you really want something to happen, every second of the clock seems to take a gazillion trillion years to tick by? Well, that's what that afternoon's lessons felt like. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Oh, would they never end? But finally, the school bell rang for home time. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling! And I was free! Breaking all speed records, I reached home, dropped off my school bag in the flower bed. Well, I wouldn't be needing it for a while, and headed for the front door. The worm was there to greet me. No worries, not even he could spoil my best day ever! Guess what, Henry? Asked the worm. It's holiday time! I cheered. And we're off to a desert island, I replied, hopefully. The worm shook his head. Oh no, Mum says it's much more exciting than a desert island. Cool! I raced past the worm and into the house. It's holiday time! I shouted. If only I had seen the big smile on the worm's face as he closed the door. In the kitchen, Mum and Dad dropped the biggest, stinkiest stink bomb ever. What do you mean we're going on holiday next door? I groaned. My best day ever was suddenly being sucked into a ginormous black hole. Margaret's mum mentioned that they were going away, began Mum. Yeah, to a desert island most likely, I muttered. Don't be horrid, Henry, said Mum. How is that horrid? I asked. Going on holiday to a desert island is about the most unhorrid thing I can think of. So, old Bogey Brain gets to go on holiday, and when moody Margaret's mum mentioned they were looking for someone to house it, guess what my mean, horrible parents did? That's right, they volunteered to house it! Ugh! That's horrid, I moaned. Well, I think it sounds fantastic fun, twittered the worm. We can pack up our suitcases and we can lock up the front door and check all the windows at least 3 times. And then we can walk down the garden path and then we can come back again to check all the windows are locked and then... Yes, all right, Peter, Dad sighed. We get the message. And the best thing is, the worm continued as Fluffy came into the kitchen, Fluffy Wuffy can come with us. Meow, said Fluffy. Yeah, meow. And we won't have to send her to the comfy cat spa, said the worm happily. By the look of Smelly Cat's face, she wasn't too happy about that. So, it's all sorted then, said Dad. We're off on holiday tomorrow. Yippee, cheered the worm. Yay, I muttered darkly. Don't be horrid, Henry, shouted everyone. Later, when I was in my room with Fang, not packing my suitcase, Dad popped his head round the door. All packed, Henry? He asked. I guess so, I sighed, glancing at the empty suitcase. Good, because we're leaving nice and early to avoid the traffic. But we're only going next door. We can leave any time we like. Don't be horrid, Henry, Dad said, and he left. At least there's one good thing about going on holiday next door, I said to Fang. You can always come back if you've forgotten something. Yeah, said Fang. And you can come with us. I cheered up a bit, 'cause if Fluffy Wuffy's coming, then you're coming too. Yeah, agreed Fang. Oh, well, tomorrow is another day, Mum always says. Well, yeah, tomorrow was another day. And can you guess what time Dad got up the next day? Early, extra early, extra early. Well, he would, wouldn't he? He was standing in the hall, fully dressed, surrounded by 9 suitcases, while the rest of us were still getting ready. Will you all hurry up? He shouted up the stairs. We're going to be late. Late for what? We're not catching a bus or a plane or anything. We're going next door. Can you believe this? Mum appeared at the top of the stairs, followed by the worm, carrying his number 22. They were singing the fantastically catchy Number Gnome holiday song. Hooray, hooray, today's a holiday, the best one ever, never mind the weather. Oh, it went on and on. The worm opened the front door and peered out. Oh, goody, he cheered, the sun is shining. All the more reason to get going, said Dad. Henry! They all shouted up the stairs. I'm coming, I said, dragging my still empty suitcase behind me, Fang's cage in my other hand. Dad rushed up the stairs. Let me help you with that, he said, helpfully pulling the suitcase from my hand. It was so light he staggered backwards and almost fell down the stairs. I see you haven't packed all your belongings, he sighed. Nope. I rushed off towards the kitchen. Back in a roly mo! Fang would never forgive me if I didn't bring his favourite tickly treat snacks. Yeah, agreed Fang happily. I faked a cheer, just a little one. It's holiday time, yay! Bags finally packed in the car, we all leapt in. Dad drove out of our driveway and into next door's driveway. Yep, old Bogey Brain's driveway. Great holiday trip that was. Didn't even have time to ask if we were nearly there yet. And then, just as we started unpacking the car, it started to rain. It was pouring. Oh, could this holiday get any worse? Yes, it could. Well, here we are, said Dad, as we stood in Moody Margaret's mum's hallway, shaking off the rain. Oh, we're on holiday, cheered the worm. Yay, I sighed. So, what shall we do first? Asked Dad excitedly. How about I make us a nice cup of tea while you start unpacking, suggested Mum as she headed for the kitchen. What a good idea, said Dad. Yay, I groaned. Dad pulled out a list from his pocket. Peter, you're in the guest suite, he read. Yippee, cheered the worm, hurrying up the stairs. Come on, Number Gnome, number 22. Let's go and look at our bedroom. Henry, said Dad, you're in Margaret's room. You what? I gasped in horror. Why do I have to sleep in her bedroom? It's all pink. Why can't the worm sleep in there? He likes pink. Dad shook his head, pointing at his list. Sorry, Henry, it specifically says that you are to sleep in Margaret's room. So, I moaned, it's not like it's some sort of contract, is it? Actually, yes, Henry, said Dad, it is a contract. What? Who needs a contract to go on holiday? It's always a good idea, said Dad, just in case anything goes wrong. I suddenly had a thought. A very bad thought. What else is in the contract? Dad began to read. No feet on the sofa, living room carpet or walls. No takeaways. Not even pizza, I squeaked. What's a holiday without pizza? Dad carried on reading. And reading, and reading. No wild parties, no DIY, no cooking on an open fire, no painting with fingers, brushes or any form of distribution mechanism, no making of films. No tapestry making or willow basket weaving, no crumbs. No animals unless they're called fluffy, and especially no animals if they look like a rat. I looked around in alarm. Where's Fang? We had to leave him at home, said Dad, waving the contract at me. Rat-like animals, Henry. Fang isn't a rat! I know, but he does look like one sometimes. What? Dad blushed a bit and shrugged. Well, in a certain light. That was it. I headed for the front door. Where are you going, Henry? To feed Fang, I answered crossly. He'll starve without me there, or had you forgotten that he needs feeding? Dad pushed the door closed again. It's all right, Henry. We've made sure he won't starve. But he'll still be miserable without me. I opened the front door again. And anyway, I'm fed up with this holiday lark. Dad pushed it closed again. We're not going home, Henry, he said sternly, waving the contract in my face. At least not for the next 2 weeks. It's in the contract. And that's when I opened my mouth wide and let out my super mega titanic terrific scream of absolute horror. Pink everywhere, and not a snot bag in sight. I groaned as I stared at pink everything all around me. Ah! Pass me the bath bag! Bleh! I flopped back on the bed. Margaret's soppy, fluffy fairy stared down at me. Great. Then I noticed something interesting. A thin rope was looped around across the ceiling and over the mirror with the lights round it, the one that old Bogey Brain does her mirror routine in front of. I leapt off the bed and looked at the rope more closely. At the end of the rope was a label with something written on it. Do not pull this rope, it said. It's funny, because as I read the note, I could hear Moody Margaret's moody voice in my head. I repeat, do not pull the rope or else. I grinned. What else was I going to do? I pulled the rope, of course. There was a loud whoosh, and then a fizz, and all the lights in the house flickered and went out. Then there was a loud bang that sounded like fireworks. Whiz! Paw! Bang! 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 Oops. Mum, Dad and the worm all yelled at the same time. Henry! Well, the next morning, a totally awesome limousine comes to pick us up. We all clamber into the back, and as we sink into the plush seats, I slip on my sunglasses, looking my usual cooler than cool, and we set off down the road. Bet you're wondering why this is happening. Can you believe that it turned out that the contract also covered the insurance in case anything went wrong? Which means it really is holiday time! We're going on a real holiday to a real desert island! How happy am I? Nothing and no one could ruin this holiday. It's going to be the best holiday ever! And when we get to the desert island, Mum, Dad and the worm stagger onto the beach, weighed down with their heavy luggage, while I skip happily after them with my empty suitcase. My grin is as big as my face, and getting bigger by the second. And that's when I saw Margaret and her mum and dad. Can you believe it? The insurance company had only sent us to the exact same desert island! Oh... As soon as Bogey Brain sees me, she opens her mouth to yell, but I get in first. No! The end.